Hi, this is Outdoors writer David Figura, and today I'm with Andy Zepp, Executive Director of the Finger Lakes Land Trust. Founded in 1989, it's one of the biggest and most expansive land trusts in the state, set up to protect the forests, lands, farmlands, gorges, and shorelines of the Finger Lakes region. Andy, how did this all get started?
So when I came back to get my master's degree at Cornell, creating the land trust was my master's project. And so I recruited and trained the founding board of directors, and I knew it would take off because there's so many people who, one, value the resources of our beautiful region, and two, this notion of a consensus-based approach, is just very appealing to people. So it clicked very quickly. The key to a land trust is we don't tell landowners what to do with their land. We instead figure out what's the win-win solution that meets their personal, financial, and family goals, and yet conserves that property, whether it's shoreline, productive farmland, wildlife habitat, whatever that is.
As far as the public's use of these lands, let's go to, the nature preserves. What are the restrictions? Can you hunt? Can you fish? Can you trap on them? Or just for hiking?
It varies by site because some of these areas range in size, first of all, from a small parcel of literally an acre or two of lakefront, but in a very important spot, to 800 acres. So we balance access, safety, and habitat protection. Typically, it's very common our preserves have a parking lot with hiking trails, and that's a very popular use, wildlife watching, walking your dog, hiking. And then we really do a lot of effort to also safely accommodate a deer management program. And we provide annually about 300 free permits to deer hunters on the property. In terms of fishing, it's a mix. There are some areas where we do have fishing access, both on trout streams and lakeshore, and other areas where there, for example, are some small ponds that are not open for fishing.
I've looked at your map on your website there, and you've got some pretty prime pieces of property in your holdings. Are there any acquisitions that stick out that you're particularly proud of, or that were just pleasant surprises when you acquired them?
Well, there's so many, and I kind of love them all with a variety. One of the nice things about the Finger Lakes is when you're in Corning, and you can literally walk out of the south side of Corning and see black bear, and you're in a wooded terrain that is so different than the rolling farmland around Skinny Atlas. So I like the variety of the projects we do. But in particular, that first project, Lick Brook, and how that has proceeded to protect this network of land, that it isn't just the land trust. When we see successful conservation at that site and other areas, it's involved New York State Parks. It's involved, in this case, the town of Ithaca, Tompkins County, the Finger Lakes Trail Conference, the Cornell Botanic Gardens, and we've all worked together to kind of nurture and grow that. So on one hand, I visit that a lot, so that's a very rewarding one. But another one is Lakeshore. About 5 years ago, or maybe a little more, we realized that we were literally seeing the last of our undeveloped shoreline disappear to development. So we've made a concerted effort in the last few years to secure some of that last undeveloped shoreline, and it's worked. So particularly with some partnerships involving New York State, we've established shoreline conservation areas on Skinny Atlas, where we own a chunk of 2,000 feet of shoreline at the Staghorn Cliffs. Last year opened a preserve on the east shore of Owasco Lake that's open to the public now. Cayuga Lake, we have a 2,000-foot stretch of shoreline on the west shore. Canandaigua Lake, even a very hard area to kind of secure land. So we've really made progress on Lakeshore, and I think a lot of people value that. Those of us who don't have a house on the lake, it's limited where you can access that shoreline.
And once again, I mean, with all these quote nature preserves and prime pieces of property, if I want to go check them out and hike them, or just like I said, just check them out, how do I find them?
Our website has great maps and directions, and that's fllt.org.